You're listening to Just Here for the Beer Radio on TSN 1040. Once again, here's your host, Joe Leary.
Welcome back to the 10th anniversary 2-hour spectacular of Just Here for the Beer Radio on TSN 1040, tsn1040.ca, also on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Joe Leary, along with Rick Mohabir, Just Here for the Beer Limited, where you can log on and check out some earlier podcasts of the show. We do a variety of shows, by the way. And also you can check us out on social media at JHFTV. Broadcasting from Monkey 9 in Richmond. Hey, look, we're poster boys. Look at that. Poster boys. It's our cover boys.
We cleaned up pretty good there, Mr. Leary.
It's our 10th anniversary, and boy, all the stars have aligned here. Dave Smith from What's Brewing magazine was kind enough to do a feature on the history of Just Here for the Beer. We're doing a collab beer with Monkey 9 Brewing called Chimp Dales Hazy IPA. And we're recording the show on Canadian National Beer Day. It's just, It's so bizarre. And this is the actual week of the 10th anniversary of Just Here for the Beer Radio. Dave, thanks for your cooperation, and I know you go back with Just Here for the Beer in the early days with Colin Jack and Rick Mohabir.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm so glad. I mean, both of you who were close friends with Colin. I am very, very encouraged to see this program last so long. This is the first talk show about beer in Canada. And it's lasted this long. That's amazing. Now, of course, the last decade, you guys can look back now because you're veterans. And you can look back at the last 10 years in beer has been pretty amazing. The craft beer revolution really took off, especially we're Vancouver people. And as you guys know, we didn't have a big scene in Vancouver before the past decade. Now we do. And you guys have been there every step of the way. The person that you guys started out with, Colin, he passed in 2011 after only 3 shows of Just Here for the Beer Radio, and that was tragic. The fact that you, Rick, Colin's best friend, have kept this going, it really warms my heart. I'm really glad that you've done this. And of course, it's not just to your benefit, it's to the benefit of the beer community in general. You've helped an immense number of brewery businesses to get the word out in an economical manner. This is quite the program when you think about it. There really hasn't been anyone else in Canada doing what you guys are doing.
Well, Dave, you hit on something which I think is important because we didn't embark on a craft beer show. We just embarked on a beer show. It just so happened that I relied on Colin Jack because Colin was my beer access. I was his radio access. Those stars aligned. But the interesting thing is that if craft beer had started to rise and all of a sudden tanked or got kneecapped, we would have been kneecapped too. So we didn't know that we would last as long as we did. And we did not go in with a game plan. We certainly didn't go in with a game plan of changing hosts 3 or 4 shows in. So, but it's people like yourself as well. I mean, and you featured on this current issue, getting the word out. These are people that do what we do, get the word out about beer.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a segue from the story about you into some of the other people that are doing that, and most of them are Instagrammers. They've been doing it, say, the past 5 years, but you guys are far more senior to them. I mean, kind of piggybacking on what you said about getting kneecaps, we know that 2020 was a year where we could have seen the industry absolutely cave.
Collapse,
and in the last show that I was on, we do it quarterly with the release of every magazine. We had a talk about the effect of COVID, and it's been amazing that the breweries have been able to survive. We have a lot of coverage of that in the latest magazine. So the issue that's out now is fall 2020, and it covers, as Joe says, both the media and the sort of, let's say, the super fans of craft beer that get the word out about beer, and also the purveyors of beer that have been surviving, and some of them thriving during this era of COVID, where people need to buy the liquid to drink at home.
So, yeah, it's an interesting time to be sure, and I do remember the occasion where you and I actually started talking about doing something on the radio show. You did a cover story on the anniversary of Doan's Craft Brewing, and Doan's was my jam. There's no question. Doan's is my jam. And we had kind of said, hey, let's do something. Come on our show and talk about the issues. And your magazine has grown exponentially as well. So it's really cool to see. And I think what we've learned from the brewing industry is that together we can go somewhere and do some things. Yeah. So rather than be competitive and bash heads with each other, you're promoting beer, we're promoting beer. let's have some bloggers on the show to promote. Let's do it. I mean, it's all helping the industry, and the industry is pretty solvent right now. So I think that it's a collaborative effort, just like the brewers work collectively as well.
Yeah, and I really thank you, Joe, for you were the one that held out the olive branch, saw me at Doan's, and said, hey, why don't we work together? So, folks, it's the good people at Just Here for the Beer that do nice things like that for the community. But, I really want to come back to your 10 years of doing this. And, Rick, it goes back even farther for you with Colin. And,
For sure.
15 and more years of supporting the craft beer and beer community. And so thank you for everything you've done.
For sure.
I know the work that goes into it. And a lot of those years are lean years, and I'm glad that you kept it up.
Well, I mean, Dave, you were there from day one, right? You were there for some of the events, the big events that Colin and I put on, even some of the smaller events, and as a volunteer before What's Brewing actually came along for you. So, yeah, you were there too, buddy.
Yeah.
Well,
don't date me.
Well, again, thank you for the spread to coincide with our 10th anniversary. We appreciate your support, and it's mutual. And we look forward to seeing you. When's the next issue coming out? Let's deal with this first, but when is the next issue coming out?
So next one will be winter, and that comes out December 1st.
Okay, well, that's when we'll see you next. Dave Smith, thank you so